Hey guys, Sleepyhead here. Welcome to this final guide. I'm really tired and this is probably the fourth time going over it, so I've wasted at least over an hour just doing this goddamn thing. So I'm Kyrandis, welcome to Black Desert. So this is the final guide of just putting everything together. So obviously this is pretty much the end of the mini-series of the mini guides. There will be probably more later on if I feel like a topic actually needs the attention. But in terms of everything, I've rewatched every single one of my own and I'm actually happy and satisfied where they are. And I feel that given the information, it's a lot of information, which is why I split them all into like each of their own category. Put them together, you basically have the whole full guide pretty much. And just as a summary, this is what this entire video is going to be about. Is just putting everything together should you have not experienced parts of those things yet. You can all do them separately one by one. But in terms of everything, you can actually connect all of them together as well. And I'm going to describe to you within this video basically kind of like a daily grind that I'm kind of doing currently. So it's a bit like the Diary Overlord, and pretty much I'm pretty sure I've addressed a lot of the most common questions already. Obviously I still see them pop up here and there, but it's a freaking lot of information to go through for anybody that's new. That's why I always say pick one thing, stick to it first before expanding beyond that first thing. And when you decide to expand, that's when you're obviously going to meet other hurdles such as like either inventory space, weight limits, or something else. But if you just focus on one, you really don't need that much of anything apart from just some equipment that you can raise over time. And I've definitely checked this out and I did the math and calculations, basically cleared out like some of my storages. My other storage is filled out, so you also gotta like kind of move things around. And if you haven't learned like all the other tricks of like transporting or using your characters as mules, taking out a mount or a wagon as a sub mule and on top of the mule character, so like you can tier like all your space there if you're really that skimpy on inventory space, which I'm sure you would be at the beginning if you're just going to harvest everything and just like hoard everything. If you hoard everything, you're going to need it. If you're good at managing stuff, you won't need any of it. And over a period of time, when you get enough CP, you won't need any of it. So right now, the next part past this will be like a CP grind that I'll take you upon, like that I kind of perform almost every day sometimes. Sometimes, not every day, actually, just like sometimes just a full day. It'll be a tour around like the entire planet of like the route I take. I'll tell you, give you like what items. That's gonna take a long while to make, obviously. I'm working on it just so you have a heads up. And still a few other things I need to complete, but yeah. So that's that, putting everything together. So I'm gonna start with gathering. So gathering was the first thing you do. It's just taking bits and pieces from like my own guide. If you have your characters gather water in the beginning, like say I'm trying to put this in the scope of a new player. Obviously I won't be able to fully relate because my new player experience was like almost a whole year ago. I did have like quest path videos and videos back then describing like what I was doing from 1 to 40. Obviously 1 to 40 back then took like maybe 2 months of like grinding. Nowadays it takes like as little as 2 hours, which is quite a huge difference, obviously. And cooking and processing used to take up energy, now they don't. Alchemy used to take up energy and now they don't. The only thing that consumes energy in terms of active input grinding is gathering. Apart from raising city energies, node energies, or investing from a distance, or rolling workers, bargaining attempts, you know, just there's all sorts of things that your energy can be used for now, but it's definitely not for those things that could be used for long times of AFK activities. So gathering is pretty much a pretty big source of income, and also early on you'll find like you as a new player you probably won't know what hard and sharp shards are. Those are for plus 16 to 20 enhancements, which is basically pride, duo, tri, tet, pen. You would only use black stones up until plus 15 gear, and then to go beyond plus 15 gear you'll need the hards and sharp shards. So but early on that might not even be relevant to you, so you could probably sell that off and quickly get yourself like a couple mil just to like, you know, blast off and take a rocket start, because you probably won't need to hold it that long anyways. The faster you get your resources and everything up, the faster you can recuperate all those things faster, so then you save yourself a lot of time, which is how some people play the game like for 2 months and then they have like literally all boss gear, and everything else is because they literally just shot like a huge amount of money from the start and then they just dropped it into stuff that a lot of people are already throwing on the market kind of thing, and that are just pre-upgraded because there's a market for that, and then you just capitalize on that gain, and then you start at a higher base level than waiting for it to increase everything to like a min-max level, which is kind of pointless because you'll take a lot longer that way rather than putting yourself like 40 steps ahead before you start trying to aim for that 99 percentile of power. But if you don't care about gear, then obviously you only care about the world and the empire and everything else that you can make about it and your life skills. But combat is obviously, you know, you just get to a certain AP, you obviously need some DP because you don't want to get one-shotted, and off you go. And then just go fight at areas, test areas, explore around. Obviously look for efficient routes within areas, so then if people invade your territory, you can either hope they party you, or either that you might end up having to defend yourself or fight with somebody or cause war, who knows. Generally, most areas that I've been to, I always scope out like at least 3 or 4 different routes that I can try and find. Most places have at least 2 to 3 of them that you can easily run around solo, and they won't, that before they, you know, the efficiency starts going down. So basically you got to find a route to kill. The faster you kill and the more patternized you go and how many mobs you kill per rotation. If you count how many mobs you kill, then obviously you will eventually determine how fast you're going per area. So some people just fight aimlessly. They go like, you know, like if the mobs are like in a circle like this, there's people that literally go here, then run here, then go up, then over here. And then they're like wandering around for a bit and wondering where the heck the mobs are going to spawn next. Whereas if you start here and then you just go around in a full circle, it's much easier, obviously, and then you can go around that like really quick. And then you'll obviously gain faster than this other person, obviously. So that's when people say like, how did you grind like that much in 10 to 12 hours? It's because literally when I'm fighting, I'm not just aimlessly chasing after every mob. I'm actually running in a very tight circle that, like, there are certain rotations where I just kill something, and by the time I finish the rotation, the group respawns right in front of my face, so then it's almost perfect. Like, there's very few situations where that happens, and obviously your gear can make that fluctuate greatly. So when I had better gear, that wasn't as efficient anymore, so I kill this place and then it disappears, and then I'm sitting there and I'm thinking somebody else is in the area KSing the place when I'm actually just overkilling, so then I don't actually see the mobs. So then that's when I go run around to either a harder area or go look for a new route. So that's in terms of grinding. So anyways, in terms of that tangent, so go back to gathering. So gathering, early on, if you watch the gathering video, obviously you can only use the shining tools that's skilled 5 and above. So first off, if you're a new player, you all probably don't have very much energy or anything else. You put all your energy, you try to get your energy by expanding your knowledge categories. I've already shown that in the Diary Overlord. You basically just press H and try to fill out the categories. The more categories you fill out, the more energy you get. Still, people seem to be asking me this question over and over. I'm very certain it is just unlock knowledges and finish categories, and more energy will be yours. So, and then obviously when you make a number of characters, they will all become energy batteries, and then afterwards, over time, they will gain their energy, and then as you're exploring the world, you unlock your bigger energy pool. Then you start using that energy to gather water, purified water, or river water specifically. It's more useful than seawater. And then you can use, once you hit skilled 5, hopefully you can either have a workshop in Glish producing the materials for it. Some of the materials are a little bit hard to get for a new player, such as like pure iron crystals, so you might have to buy that off the market. The hides, they're made from drying like ox hides, pig hides, or something like that, so you just gotta need a tanning knife and harvest that a little bit off. But once you get like the first 2, you should make sure you just kind of get a bit of every resource, so you can actually kind of start pumping yourself up. Steel is made by coal and iron shards heated together. To make ingots, you might need some knowledge that is now presented in the O category under suggested. It's within the advancement processing or something. One of them is like for certificates. I think certificates paradigm or whatever. It tells you like how to get it here within this section. They added this in. It wasn't there previously, so it was very hard to depict to new players where to get that knowledge to enable that feature for yourself. As for once you get it, you basically have it forever for your accounts. You don't have to unlock it ever again. All your characters will have it, which is why it's probably not mentioned very often in other guides. So once you have that, you gather a bunch of water, you have a bunch of river water. You can also process that as well into purified water, which you can later on use for either desert trips. You can use it for alchemy, and big purified water has quite a number of uses. And then so you can use a lot of that for alchemy. You will expend a lot of that for alchemy if you decide to go alchemy. Otherwise, you can also sell it off to the market. I will buy it. Others will buy it. And then if you have the purified water, that'll also raise your processing levels early on, which is pretty good because you want to have a higher processing level before you go into like other materials that you think are more worth processing to get that multiple process rate, so you get better products out of it, more products out of it, and possibly rare products out of it. So like jumping from ores to ingots instantly, you can only get that when you're at like either Artisan 1 or Master 1. I believe it's Artisan 1 is where that starts occurring for that character at a very low rate. And then same with cooking. Cooking, you probably want to make beers early on, tons and tons of beers to feed your workers. And alchemy, probably clear liquid reagents or pure power reagents because they're base materials for a lot of the higher upper end alchemy things, which is just for starters. So that's just like the first 4 life skill professions just put together. If you got fishing as well that you do overnight, fishing overnight can help level your trading up early on. So fishing you can do that overnight, and then you fish like, you know, 7 to 8 hours kind of thing, and then afterwards you know, if you take it to if you use my method of 7 CP here, and then you also take a traveler's map off the world or whatever, exactly like my guide, the exact information of what I do, you go to the raw sea, teleport all the way to Port Rat, dunk your fish there, make sure it's connected, make sure you also have that area within the waters uncovered, otherwise it's just gonna be 30% worth of what it is. And then you sell it off, get your huge money, sail back, obviously take the sailing daily there too to raise your sailing skills. So you, as you're building towards a Furious sailboat, by the time you get it, you'll have a pretty decent skill level on your life skilling character that you can actually speed through. If you don't have that yet, then obviously to get back, which was a detail I missed, somebody mentioned it and I also put it in, you want to look at these ferries here. These are the ferries. They come every 15 to 20 minutes or so. And they go from Port Rat all the way to Lima Island, and then from Lima Island it takes you to Olvia Coast, just where this guy is, Chadwick. So that's, in terms of a trip, that's about 45 minutes, 30 minutes from Port Rat to Lima Island, and then 15 minutes from Lima Island to Chadwick. When you have your own ship and you actually have the gear for it, and also the skills as well, and also a straight path, it takes about 30 to 37 minutes driving back from Port Rat on your own. Especially when you have a higher trading level, fishing will help it a little bit, but to actually get your trading levels up really quick, you either sell a ton of junk crates or do a lot of active trading yourself from time to time. Or you could be like me, you can always take one trade product on your horse and just, like, you know, if you're going to some faraway place, just blast it off there and then sell it off like periodically, just one product at a time. But you do need higher trading levels in order to get that. But trading, you can also, there's a lot of trading items in the game. They especially drop in Sausons and Pirates, which are coins. Places like Mains and Abandoned Iron, I think Abandoned Iron Mine had them, and Wandering Rogue, and Soldier Grave Tags, Elric Shrine I believe has some as well, and Helm's Post, those broken golem cores. Medea also has a bunch of them, especially when you're gathering. Gathering has all kinds. You could either find like the female Kermes, the crystallized blood from foxes or, like, you know, animals when you're gathering blood, or you could get insect with ambers from just gathering trees. All of those are trading items. For every trading level that you get, that's like 0.5% of value increased upon it, on top of the distance bonus that you can get from it. So then the trading from that, once you get high enough, obviously when you dunk off like a lot of them, it's actually worth quite a bit of money. So right now I'm sitting at about 251 of these well-polished souls from just gathering a shit ton of sheep all the time down here, which obviously I'm going to take to Port Rat. Other people could take it to Valencia. I prefer to have Valencia disconnected because Port Rat is just so much more cheaper on CP. If you're looking towards the future, obviously Grana and Camasilvia is down here. So I'm actually in the midst of, right now, I'm going to repurpose this entire line of trend all the way down to Camasilvia, which goes through Bear Downstream, Bear, Longleaf Tree Forest, and then straight through somewhere down here, and then it goes even further down, and then you've got Camasilvia. Grana, the capital city. That's going to be probably a pretty major hub later on, I'm assuming, and obviously by then I'm pretty sure from Grana to Valencia would be higher worth than Port Rat. But right now Port Rat is hyper convenient for new players because it's only 7 CP to connect this to Velia. Very, very cheap, very, very easy, very applicable and usable right away. And then Cooking is also like tied with farming. Farming is quite literally money that just grows over time. There is literally no cost on there apart from a base cost of the seeds and then a tie-up of CP of like 7 to 10 CP. You can rent obviously lower fences, but if you want the best number of fences for your buck, it would be 7 CP, but you can only have, I think, 10 fences out at a time. So eventually you can only cap out at 100 CP usage. And this is where most of my CP goes from disconnecting like part of the world. And I have parts of the places connected for node levels. I don't really think node levels on grinding areas does too much. I assume it does something. There's a lot of debate about it. I assume it does something because that's what it says, but I haven't really seen anything consistent or significant in terms of my results. So either I'm shafted by RNG or it's just absolutely broken. It does have effect on towns. If you throw energy into towns, for sure makes NPC conversations easier. I've noticed a higher success rate on like knowledge cards in general, and there's no way to reset it. So if you actually need to fail stuff, then good luck. That's just shitty objectives that the NPC told you about. I have Amity Guide on it as well, very old. It's still relevant, and made sure it's still relevant and didn't change too much, so that particular video is still applicable till this day, even though it's like 6 to 7 months old kind of thing. There's also, what else have we missed here? Training. Training is one thing I haven't really done, is horses. Horses I haven't really gone over. Obviously, if you get a high horse, that just means you're reducing your overall travel time from anywhere, from A to B, from anywhere. So the faster your horse is, obviously, the less downtime you have from one area to another. Training horses requires a lot of experience. It's one of the few things I didn't mention. It's basically you should know how to like identify a horse, and the moment you know how to start identifying horses just from experience. This is based on my guild members because they have performed it themselves and they have performed it without fail, which is so that's why I believe them, and it's actually true. If you can notice what tier a horse is and you start marking down or taking screenshots or whatever, there's some screenshots floating around the net as well that has a chart of like all the horses and what color they are and what they look like. And then when you tame them, my guild member's like, that's a tier 4. And you throw the rope around it, walk up to it, and then you count like a number of seconds, and then you just jump on it and hope it doesn't kick you off. And then afterwards, once you land on it, then you just take it to the stable and register it or sell it off or whatever, and then like 100% of the time they told me that's a tier 4, I go and register it, it says it's a tier 4. So I'm like, oh, okay, you guys are freaking fabulous about this. So that's like 2 of my officers that do that all the time. They're always taming horses. Damn wranglers. Oh, and also if you want a dream horse eventually, you're gonna need a T8 with certain skills, a tier 8 horse. And then when the content does come, Stonetail Horse Ranch is where it's bred to be tier 9. You do need certain materials for it. I don't really know which, but I'm sure you can find it through the internet. And this is the area where it's going to be raised for a dream horse. You're either going to get a Pegasus, Hellfire horse. I think a unicorn is also available. I think there's 4 or 5 different kinds, but Hellfire horse is basically 2 people can ride on it, I think, and they can both do mounted combat on it, which sounds ridiculous. And then you've also got the Pegasus, which can do air hops. So you'll always fall, but you won't like get yourself killed. You can always just jump down like mountains and just Mario air jump in between. The unicorn has like double charge or something, or like triple charge damage. I don't quite remember. That sounds actually very devastating. It's got the gore technique to blast through things. Ooh. And yeah, so that's training. Hunting, there's not too much to go about on right now. Obviously, there's just the opening quest. If you need to shoot things, there's the crocodiles and the Lake Kaya. There's a hunting ground for like foxes and wolves somewhere up here. And then across this mountain here, there's like deers, bears, and pigs. Calc is like down in these areas here in the forest, and also Hazard Cliff over here. and Tungrad Forest. And then there's whales out in the sea, and then the big blue whale somewhere. If you're prepping for Leviathan and Bell, that's basically you're going to need a convoy that eventually comes out somewhere in this area, I think, obviously later on. It's going to be a huge Leviathan, World Sea Boss, convoy, or a guild ship or something. Even your sailboat will be able to participate. And I think that's it. What else is there? Okay, so I guess I should just go through like my grind of like everything every day, I guess. So so my grind of everything every day, if I don't actually feel like playing, because obviously I'm exhausted from work, about like, you know, wake up and then set my character fishing, and there's about 9-10 hours at work or whatever. Come home, and then I get on my ship, I sail out, or either that I'm already out there, since if I had time the previous night to set myself out there, otherwise I'd just be at the Velia shore. And then I port all the way over to like Port Rat, dunk my fish, sell 7 million or something, pick up a bunch of trade products because I'm high level trading now, and then I sail my products all the way back, and then I also take that sailing quest every day. It gets me about 10% now. Drop it off at Velia. It's about another 10 mil after costs of buying the products. It's about 3 million down, so it's about like 17 million, 16 million. And then on top of that, the relic shards that were gathered overnight, I either run them myself or I go sell them. Most of the time I sell them because I don't have too much time to run them, and I don't want it taking up my inventory space because I like having inventory space. And then afterwards, if I've got 495 energy, which is what I have right now on this character, Jesus Christ, 400 energy translates to about 1 hour of gathering, and then 1 hour of gathering could be basically going at gathering level 5 with a shining tool. And obviously if I want to save durability, it's also with 2 durability gem in a weapon, and also costume skin if you got it. Not too big of a deal, but the 2 durability gems are a bigger deal than anything. I have that on somewhere. And then afterwards, gather either all lamb meat or like saps or something. Saps. So just in terms of location, just to help you out, lamb meat is obviously here in Lynch Ranch at the top. If you're looking for ash sap is like somewhere up here, just northeast of Velia. If you're looking for assortment of everything, go to Ovia. If you're looking for foxes and like weasels, it's around Ovia. Wolf is right by Western Guard Camp. You got lizards by Glish over here. Then if you want like pine sap, it's down here by Zarkaspawn. Trent is also like pine sap. Fur sap is like by Bear. Birch is like up here, Northern Calpheon. Birch and cedar. And then I'm pretty sure that's like all the saps, because saps are pretty hard to get if you're doing alchemy. If you're doing food, then it's just the lamb meat, or you could squish milk all day, which some people will find crazily annoying. I don't find it too annoying. There's about like 5 milk quests that you could do across the map that'll also help you get CP. I'll do that in the CP Grind World Tour series when I do it. And that's gathering. So then either that or just logs all over the place. Logs, like, you know, acacia, elder, and palm tree are out here, obviously. Or underwater gathering. Underwater gathering, I would say, like, probably east of Lima Island, or either that. There's like a spot way out here somewhere. I don't know where it is in where's my screenshots? No, I'm not. I don't know where they are right now. I'm too tired. So it's somewhere out here. I remember there's a spot here somewhere. It's one of these spots here. I remember it was like one of these islands, and then to the east or something, I actually gathered way out here in the middle of nowhere. And people are like, what the fuck are you doing out there? I'm like, I'm gathering. So if you're doing underwater gathering, you want a luck armor or Fortuna set. You don't want gathering clothes. It's not going to serve your purpose. There's reasons behind that. When you actually get the gear for it, you'll understand why. It's basically the +3 move speed. Bonus luck if you're superstitious. I heard it doesn't do anything for gathering, but you know, whatever. You can have it anyways if you run this armor set. 2 vision crystals so you can see farther into the ocean, supposedly. 2 underwater breathing crystals in the shoes, so you get the +3 move speed from the Fortuna set. And then as well, when you eat hard-boiled shellfish, that gives you gathering +2. And then if you've got an Alkstone or a Balanos meal going, On top of that, 30 minutes later, then you can also get +4. If you got the guild bonus, that's already +1, 2, or 3. And Alkstone can either give you +1 or +2. Realistically, for you obtaining the proper Alkstone level and tier to get it, to work that. And then also seal elixirs, so then you can actually stay underwater even longer. So when you have all of those put together, it's about like plus, let's see, 15, 15, 30, so that's 10, 40. It's like 55 seconds extra that you can get from underwater with no cash shop, but then your swim speed will be pretty slow. So if you need more surface, not so deep water dives, obviously do it near closer to Port Rat, or either that even Port Epheria, I believe. I don't quite remember. If you got a fishing boat, you can also fly out there pretty easily. So that's just gathering. 495 energy is about like an hour and 20 minutes of me gathering. And when your gathering level goes higher and higher, less energy consumption will go around. So that means you lose less energy and you gather way more. So 495 energy generally yields me about 4 tools before I actually need to like go home and do whatever. That's obviously gathering like non-stop with barely little movement. If you need to gather rocks, it's like Pilgrim's Haven, obviously. And then, you know, logs are everywhere. There's also this riverbank here east of Hydo that also has a lot of rocks as well. I forgot there's a few more on the left side of Calpheon as well. There's some nice spots where there's a huge density of like rock materials. Have free and explore yourself. They're obviously across everywhere. These are just like concentrated spots. There's also like one, I think it was like across this river here somewhere. Don't quite remember. So once that's all done, so generally, let's see, I go drop my fish off and then I come all the way back. That's about like, I will say 40 minutes realistically. And then afterwards, it's about another hour 20. So I got about 2 hours down just from doing that alone. And then that's generally yields about like already 20 to 25 million for the day. About 17 million that's already transformed into silver, and then about like another 6.5 that hasn't really transformed into anything yet from the gathering. And then afterwards, when you transform them, it becomes even more. You either sell them towards Imperial, or at that I sell it towards the players that need it, or at that I just keep it for myself to also speed up something else and reduce the time on something else later, which I assess as a time gain. So basically less time spent doing this by reducing it by doing something else. So that's that. And then once that's all done, like, you know, that 2 hour like spindle, I'll either go CP grinding, which can take another 4 hours. I can raise probably this whole bar within a day. Generally it's a lot of questing. At my CP level, 1 bar is actually like a huge amount. For you people who are under 255, it'll be a lot faster if you do the whole 4 hour grind that I do, which obviously you won't know yet. You will probably get like maybe 3 to 4 or 5 CP even like a day, which is insane. If you're like under 100, you can easily get like 30 to 50 CP a day if you're going hardcore at it. About like an 7 to 8 hour session kind of thing. It's really not that difficult to raise it. Up until a certain point, there's crafting the beers every day. As you're doing all this, I assume that if you take the advice I've given you on rolling workers to start off with, just to start your empire, just get it started. Obviously connect your nodes in proximity. Don't try to connect the world. There's no point connecting the world unless you're actually doing trading. The only thing you should probably connect early on is Port Rat if you actually decide to dump fish on there. If not, connect it to a town where you're going to sell it to an Imperial delivery person instead. So you get the full value of your fish. If you're lazy, obviously just drop it off at the trader and sell it off faster. Don't wait, because the fish degrade over time. They lose about 5% every hour, I believe, or 30 minutes. I don't quite remember. So and then once they expired, they're worth 30% to the trader, which is as if you dunked it off to an unconnected node, which is a lot of money thrown away for basically something that you can alleviate in like an instant. One misdetail is while you're actually sailing back, before I even sail back, if you've got another character that isn't your main and is just literally for life skills, which for me, I actually have like 2 mains and 2 life skill alts. I actually have about five alts that I can use to gather. There are days where I just feel like I don't want to do anything but gather. So I actually gather like 2,500 energy worth of stuff, and that's basically 6 hours of just pure gathering, like forever. And there's not very many people who would do that, obviously. So that's inapplicable to everybody. That's just pure insanity and like mega monotony. And but basically, while you're gathering, also transport your combat character out to like wherever you're gonna grind. So like, you know, closest city, if you're gonna go grind in Calphion, bring it to Calphion, Trent, or Kepler, for instance, and then, or if not, then bring it to like Tariff or Altanova or Sangrain Bazaar even, and then just run out. That's basically, once all that is done, my grind, then I go out and actually go grind for like 60 minutes if I'm not feeling lazy or I'm not exhausted from that already. So that's about 3 hours of my time, and then afterwards, once that's done, I just actually run that character back, transport them back to wherever I need them to be, and while that's going on, I'm go back on my main, or my other life skiller main or whatever, or my other main combat. And then afterwards, I start doing either daily quests that give like life skill boosts, like hunting or something, like shooting the deer and the crocs, or I start processing, or I go do other things or make videos like this. And then right now I'm actually just running around for weight. I don't really care. And then finally, that's, you know, all this put together, that's, you have this full cycle. Just doing that grind alone already takes up 2 to 3 hours of, like, you know, your time. So for me, that's already pretty much like my whole day, and then afterwards I just go sleep or I go do something else because I don't play that much. So obviously when I'm sailing back from Port Rat, that 40 minutes or so, I don't really pay attention. I either just like autopath and then I go read a book in my bed or whatever. If I hear pirates board my ship, then I go tend to it. If I hear my ship running through a tornado, it sounds like a machine gun going off, so obviously I get panicked and I'm like, what the hell is destroying my ship? It literally sounds like it's getting under heavy attack. If not, sometimes there's no incidents, which is great. And then there are finally, you know, after that 3 hour grind, then you can either start active trading other things, start looking for more knowledge, energy gaining, just pure grinding, just throwing your stuff at equipment, upgrading. There's all sorts of things to do. So basically, in terms of like what I've set myself up, there's an endless amount of stuff that I can do, and it just never runs out, and that's how this cycle keeps turning. So where obviously some might get bored of that, which is why I switch up my world so often, is because I'm always trying to discover new things or just doing something weird and shittily and see if it works. I get some ideas on like going somewhere, trying different grind spots, going in parties in areas that most people never go to, like Akhman and Histria, and see how fast it was, and it actually wasn't that slow. And then there was also, you know, just reading up on stuff, setting up for war, building forts, trying to, you know, just manage everything, make sure there's, you know, reduce as much drama as possible. Sometimes I'm toxic and then I just fuck off. So yeah, that's putting everything together. I don't know if this actually brought anything together. I swear to God, I might have gone off topic somewhere part way in. I'm so sorry if I did. There's huge amount of like a mind splurge here, and it wasn't really planned out. I just been thinking about it over the past 4 days. I'm like, is there anything else I need to tell people to get them, like, get that foundation started for them? So obviously none of this is necessary. You could always just pick up a sword and a weapon or whatever and just go kill mobs nonstop and get your money instantly. But if you ever decide to destroy your equipment, here's a bunch of activities that you can do to recover yourself in the meantime while you know, it's not like there's a new Kazarka++ weapon all of a sudden. Kazarka weapon's still the main weapon for the past like 7 months, so it's fine. It's like the ceiling is not being raised. It's just like, you know, the rush from the beginning is actually just a lot faster from when I started, which is actually pretty good for you guys. It'll be more enjoyable experience for us. It's like it was more of a hardcore stage back then. Now it's actually it's still all within the same pool if you ask me. So until like more content arrival, which is Camasylvia, whenever since never. I don't know when it's supposed to come, because in Korea they got it before their Dark Knight, or just with their Dark Knight. We already have the Striker and we don't have it at all. So hopefully Black Desert will put it out just to make me look like a fool again. Every time. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope this kind of glued everything together for you. I obviously probably missed something. If I did, it'll be in the description. If not, then I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.
Fish from Mongolia. Fish from Mongolia. We got some community
Shoutouts here to all the people showing appreciation.
See how much this gets me. So it's 10.5 million. Holy shit.
Ah, you're stunning me. Stop stunning.
God damn it.
Why are you picking on me, Dart? I'm not even just deserving, bro.
You're supposed to be helping.
What's us down?
Oh, shit.
You ready?
My body is ready.
That's pretty awesome.
Wow.
And then the end of the ability comes out after the sword ball disappears.
Oh my.
Alright, sorry.
It's like a time bubble.
Shit.
And you were definitely hitting me.
Not you guys. The one that doesn't have gear.
So should I record that? Send that in? Say that
I recorded it, it was
fix this
hilarious.
shit. Fix this shit, you fucks.
Okay. I don't have any.
It's pretty great.
What do you want to do?
I want you to punch me.
Yeah, flexibility.
Shoot me with. Oh yeah, now you're doing damage. Alright, let's go. Wait, you gotta take your shit off.
Why?
Take your armor off.
I don't even. It's just like it's like 181 DP.
Whoa. But like, let me shoot you.
Whoop.
God damn it.
Circle on circle.
God, I tackling rocked out of it. Let's live.
Hey, what the fuck?
Circle on circle.
Oh, it didn't grab you again. Oh shit.
Fuck yes.
Get back here.
Oh wow, you interrupted my meter.
No. God damn it!
Awesome. I just sliced your balls in half.
It's over.
That wasn't. You timed that perfectly to actually get me in the air.
Run.
It's like one of my hardest hitting abilities too.
Oh shit.
Dude, I think the problem is I don't fucking know why I switched something. I'm trying to lava pierce.
Oh, I stunned you with a headbutt.
Oh shit. I'm just gonna let myself die. Yep, totally let myself get grabbed. Here. You just drop kick me to death?
Yeah.